Looks like she's in pain after that pass. She had been dealing most recently with a groin injury.
What started as a moment of triumph at Boston's TD Garden quickly turned into heartbreak. The Indiana Fever had just notched their third straight win over the Connecticut Sunbutt celebration turned to shock when Caitlin Clark began hobbling in pain, clutching her groin. The crowd's cheers fell silent. Cameras captured tears streaming down her face as she sat on the bench. This wasn't just any injury. It was the same groin issue that had sidelined her before. What makes it even worse? Once again, referees allowed the kind of dangerous, unchecked physicality that's followed Clark all season long, and this time it may have cost her dearly. Head coach Stephanie White isn't staying silent anymore. Neither should fans. What shocking pattern did the WNBA officials just expose, and will anything finally change? Leave a message wishing Caitlin a speedy recovery in the comments below.
No update. Just felt a little something in her groin, so we'll get it evaluated and see what happens from there.
Yeah, just kind of to follow up on that. Looked like she was kind of grabbing at her right groin area. Is that the concern?
Yeah, if that's the one she was grabbing at, I don't know which one it was, but yeah, I mean, that's it.
Picture this. TD Garden was rocking, but not for the home team. Despite the Connecticut Sun being the designated hosts, the arena felt completely taken over by Indiana Fever fans. "Let's go Fever!" echoed through every section like it was Gainbridge Fieldhouse, not Boston. The energy was electric, and it was clear Fever Nation had shown up in full force. On the court, Indiana was just as dominant. They cruised to their third straight win, beating the Sun 85-77. Kelsey Mitchell dropped 20 points. Natasha Howard powered through with an 8-13 rebound double-double, and the Fever looked unstoppable. At 12-10, they're now firmly in the playoff hunt. Everything was going according to plan until the final moments. That's when everything changed.
Right here, she explodes, makes the backdoor pass, and immediately grabs the inside of that right leg. Yeah,
But in an instant, everything shifted. What looked like a routine play turned into a nightmare when Caitlin Clark suddenly grabbed at her right groin and winced in visible pain. Then came the moment that broke everyone's heart out of sheer frustration. She slammed her head against the basketball stanchion. The arena went silent. What had been a night of triumph was now filled with fear and uncertainty.
She walks down to the end of the court. You can tell that she's in pain. You can tell that there's something wrong. She goes to the, what's it called, like stanchion or whatever, the thing that holds up the basketball hoop on the other end. She hits her head on it. She is fighting back tears and she walks straight over to the bench. Now, when she goes over to the bench, she starts crying, and I've honestly never seen Caitlin Clark cry on the court except when she lost the national championship game. She keeps it together no matter what is happening, but you could just tell that something happened on that play, and it was either the pain of it, it was either like, here we go again, it was frustration.
A moment that will haunt Fever fans was captured on camera. Caitlin Clark sitting on the bench, tears streaming down her face. Her expression said it all. This wasn't just exhaustion or minor discomfort. She knew exactly how serious it was. The joy from just minutes earlier had completely vanished. This wasn't a typical injury. Earlier in the season, Clark had already missed 5 games due to a left groin issue. Now it was her right groin acting up, raising serious concerns about overcompensation, long-term durability, and what this could mean for the rest of her season.
Test, but right now on the bench after looking like she is in some pain.
At certain moments, you could feel the entire arena shift, from pure excitement to stunned silence. The loud chants from Fever fans were cut short in an instant. As the realization set in that their star player was seriously hurt, the energy drained. From the building, the expressions on her teammates' faces only deepened the heartbreak. They knew something was wrong. Concern filled their eyes as they watched Caitlin Clark struggle in pain. The celebration came to a screeching halt as everyone turned their focus to the injured Clark. Although the medical staff responded quickly, the bigger concern was looming. Indiana's title hopes taken a devastating blow. After the game, Coach Stephanie White shared that Clark had felt a little something in her groin and would undergo further evaluation. With just days remaining until the WNBA All-Star Game, The timing couldn't be worse.
We probably won't get many details about the injury, but it was honestly just so heartbreaking to see because in that moment, she just looked so defeated. And Caitlin Clark is somebody, she hides it really well. And I don't know if hiding it or she handles it is probably the right thing to say. She handles the pressure. She handles all of the media spotlight, the attention, the expectations of how she performs on the court, the expectations of the ratings for her games. She handles all of that so well. And this season has just been so tough for her when it comes to injuries.
This injury perfectly highlights how the league has allowed Caitlin Clark to be targeted all season long. She had already missed 10 games due to leg issues and now, yet another setback puts her availability in jeopardy. But to understand how we got here, we have to go back to where this pattern of punishment truly began. It all traces back to a game against the Connecticut Sun on June 17th. That night marked a turning point in how opponents approached Clark, and the consequences are now painfully clear.
Third quarter we go. They're trailing by 10. Keep an eye on her and J.C. Sheldon. Clark trying to back her down.
Clark is okay.
Sheldon, that was Clark, hitting her in the face. Clark is upset about that. Then everybody's upset about that. Marina Mabry comes in. She decks Clark, tempers flaring on both sides.
That day, JCS Sheldon and Marina Mabry shocked the basketball world with a pair of incidents that crossed every line of acceptable play. During what should have been routine defensive coverage, Sheldon's finger jabbed Clark directly in the Aja move that felt both reckless and deliberate. Moments later, Marina Mabry delivered a brutal body check that sent Clark stumbling backward. These weren't basketball plays. They were targeted, aggressive acts, and they sent a clear message.
And then Mabry came in with a bump.
And Mabry's day is almost assuredly going to be done. But both teams.
That day, JCS Sheldon and Marina Mabry shocked the basketball world with a pair of incidents that crossed every line of acceptable play. During what should have been routine defensive coverage, Sheldon's finger jabbed Clark directly in the Aja move that felt both reckless and deliberate. Moments later, Marina Mabry delivered a brutal body check that sent Clark stumbling backward. These weren't basketball plays. They were targeted, aggressive acts, and they sent a clear message.
Sophie commits a hard foul on JC Sheldon. Again, as JC Sheldon is going up for a layup, Sophie bear hugs her and takes her to the ground. What I will say is Sophie did not grab her and throw her to the ground. She didn't body slam her. She didn't do anything, in my personal opinion. Maybe I'm biased here, but I'm gonna give you guys my straight up honest opinion on this. She bear hugged her, took her to the ground. Yes, it was intentional. It was absolutely intentional.
By doing little to address the dirty plays, the league effectively sent a message. Targeting Caitlin Clark was fair game. The WNBA's lack of serious disciplinary action made it clear that future aggression would likely go unchecked. This perceived indifference only reinforced the belief that neither the referees nor league officials were doing enough to protect one of the game's brightest stars. So when the Fever and Suns stepped onto the court in Boston, the tension was undeniable. Even during warm-ups, players exchanged icy stares. This wasn't just another regular season matchup, the energy was different. Everyone knew this game meant something more, and Caitlin Clark played like it. She attacked the basket with purpose. Her passes were sharper and every possession carried weight. She looked like a player with something to prove on. She wasn't holding anything back.